Welcome into the PHNX Cardinals podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined by the GM Saul Bookman. And
what up, Johnny?
What up? We're fired up. We've got a
Why are we fired up, Johnny? Why are we fired up?
We've got a special guest on the program today. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, a 10-year NFL vet, and the standout right tackle for the Arizona Cardinals, Kelvin Beachum. Joins the PHNX Cardinals podcast. Kelvin, how you doing?
The pride of Mexia, Texas. Let's go, baby.
Mahia.
I knew I was going to mess that up because I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, Mahia. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for hopping on. We are in the midst of, we're going to be honest with you, a little free agency lull because
Johnny is freaking out. Let's just say what it is. Johnny is absolutely in panic mode because he's like, why have we not signed anybody else outside of the organization? We're going to be all right, Johnny. We're going to be all right.
Thankfully, we do have a right tackle. He's here joining us today. Kelvin, thanks for jumping on. So, I'll jump right into it. You guys, phenomenal start to the year. I mean, you're 10-2, the talk of the NFL, and then, had a little bit of a downfall toward the end of the season. Do you guys expect, a big bounce back in 2022? And why do you think that that's likely with this group of guys?
Because I think first and foremost, we want to finish a job. I think we started the season in a very good fashion. And I think if you were to ask anybody in that locker room, they would say that we just didn't finish the way in which we knew we could finish. It comes down to details. It comes down to execution. And it comes down to relationships within the locker room to be able to be tight-knit. So when you do come up against some of those adverse circumstances throughout the year, you're capable and ready to be able to execute within the most critical moments of the game. And we just didn't do that down the stretch. And to be the caliber of team and to be the caliber playoff team that we aspire to be, you have to be able to thrive in some of those elements of situational football. And we just didn't do that in the most critical moments of the game.
Well, Kelvin, you're in your 30s now, and you played right tackle, but you showed some versatility this year. Played a little left tackle as well, especially against Dallas. And you see guys,
great game.
Yeah, fantastic game. And you see guys like Andrew Whitworth, playing well into his 40s. Do you anticipate having more of a shelf life here in the NFL than maybe you anticipated?
I think if Mr. Bidwell and Steve Kahn feel that way, I think I can be around for a long time. But it's all about performance, man. At the end of the day, if you perform in the National Football League and you perform at a high level, you'll have a job. It's as simple as that. It's not some secret sauce. Tom Brady isn't drinking some secret sauce. Whitworth isn't drinking some secret sauce.
He's not drinking vampire's blood. Is that he's not doing that?
Yeah. If you perform at a high level and your body can handle the rigor of the season, year in and year out, you can play as long as you want to, or as long as your wife or your kids will let you play. Fortunately, I got a phenomenal wife and kids who love me. So I feel good about playing a little longer. So I like how you put it, well into your 30s. But it's been a blessing to play this game this long, and excited to continue playing.
Kelvin, I should learn from you. The Cardinals, yes, they're slow out of the gate here in March, but you have been one of the best signings of recent years, and you came on board. What was that? July of 2 years ago, and then signed your extension with the club last March. So that gives me some patience, some added patience, knowing that there might be a Kelvin Beachum out there for the Cardinals to add this summer. And who knows? So you're at right tackle. You got Rodney Hudson at center. The left side is solidified. Talk to me about some of these younger guys that could have an opportunity to play right guard next to you. What have you seen from, let's say, a Josh Jones coming into his third year?
I think there's been some maturation from his rookie year up until where he is today. He played a lot of ball this past year at guard, at tackle. And I thought he showed improvement. I think the biggest thing for him now moving forward is how does he grow mentally, and how does he grow between the ears, because that's where, as young players, you want to be able to see that growth from year to year. He has the physical tools to be able to be successful. Depending on what they do with Max Garcia. Max Garcia is a phenomenal player who played great ball for us. I don't know what they're going to do with Harlow, who also played really good ball for us. So we have some folks, behind us that could go in and start and have started games not only for us, but I feel that they can start games for other teams around the National Football League, and that's what you want to have. You want to have guys that are backups that are just as capable, of starters that you have, within that crew that we have. So, I'm excited about where we're at. Excited about our offensive line coach and Sean Kugler and Coach Nacken, who do a phenomenal job of putting us in the best position to be successful week in and week out. And we got a great coaching staff. Kliff is great, and does a really good job of making sure that he puts his offensive line in the best position week in and week out to be successful. So I'm excited about how we're continuing to evolve as an offense, and know that this division isn't getting any easier by any means, even though there's been some transitions of their quarterbacks within the division. But these defenses are still these defenses. Seattle still has a very stout defense. San Fran still has a very stout defense. LA, the defending champs, still have a very, very stout defense. So we still got to be able to put up a lot of points on offense.
When you just mentioned Kliff, and I always wondered, we got a chance to kind of, rub elbows a little bit for about 3-4 minutes at the combine with Kliff, and he's just in his own environment, in his own control. He's a little bit of a different guy than what you see, in press conferences, stuff like that. How many opportunities have you had to just sit down with Kliff, and what's he like off the field?
Man, what's crazy is I was actually on a flight back with him not too long ago. We actually got to spend quality time, like waiting for our bags, extensively, or for a very, very long time at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, and got to just spend quality time just talking, honestly. And that was it was great for me. We spent a lot of time. I usually see him early in the morning, in the steam room as I'm coming into the building. So we kind of see each other in passing. There's always a short conversation, but that conversation at baggage claim there at the airport was equally as important, because it's one thing to be able to hang out and see each other within the building, but I think it's always best when you're outside of the building and the relationship that you have, not only with your teammates, but also your coaches. I've spent time at Coach Kugler's house and spent time, eating food from his wife. I've spent time in El Paso when he was in El Paso as a head coach there at UTEP. So those relationships go a lot further than what's just in the building. But if you're able to have those relationships outside of the building, I think it really does bode well for your organization and the relationship that you have between player and coach. And I think Kliff is really starting to take that to a whole nother level, is being able to have that relationship between player to coach. Because people think of him as a player's coach, which he is, but I think he's really making a concerted effort. And it's showing in the relationships that he has with the players on their rosters, because he's making the time to make sure that those relationships are relevant to who he is as a coach and what he stands for as a coach and what he wants to see out of his players week in, week out.
So I want to talk about your quarterback, Mr. Kyler Murray, who 2 seasons with you, he's had his best 2 seasons. What kind of growth have you seen from the young franchise quarterback, and where do you see his evolution coming as a signal caller in the NFL?
I think it's his confidence around how he handles people, period. Coming from Oklahoma and coming into this particular environment, I think you've seen the maturation of how he handles people, how he handles relationships. And as a franchise quarterback, everybody looks to you. You're the leader no matter whether you want to be or not. And I think he's really started to take on that role and started to handle some of those responsibilities in a much better fashion. But I will say his maturation that I've seen since I've been here in 2020 to where we're at in 2022 and how he handles things in the locker room, he's making leaps and bounds. But I think he still has a ways to go. The thing is, in the National Football League, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And I think he's putting in the effort to continue to get better in that regard. And I know that the sky's the limit as it pertains to that, because the better relationship and the better relationships he has within the locker room, the better off things will be on the football field. The way in which he can pull the most and pull the best out of his teammates. It all comes from the relationships that he has.
It's fascinating that you said that, and I very much appreciate you say that he's improved and he's gotten better every single year, but he still has a little bit of growth left, because I think the narrative that we've heard is either he was awful or he was fantastic. There was no in between. So I appreciate the fact that, hey, we all have room to grow, right? We all have room to develop as leaders and as people. So I appreciate that you said that. Give me one quick fact about Larry Fitzgerald and your guys' relationship that is so impactful to you.
Man, that's a very, very hard question, man. I have just a tremendous amount of respect for Larry and the way that he treats people, the way he treats my family, the way he treats my kids. It's just hard to like nail one fact down. We played the Cowboys late last year. Well, late in the year. The game I ended up starting to left tackle. And I think my parents happened to be in town the weekend before. I can't remember the game we played before then. But my parents happened to be in town and we played the Cowboys. And he was like, he just met my mom for the first time. And he was driving. I happened to call him. And he was like, Beachum, let me come over real quick. I'm like, come on over. My parents are here. He's like, I want to meet them. And my parents are country. They don't go a lot of places. They don't do a lot. So for me to actually get them on a plane to come to my game is a big deal. And he was like, well, y'all need to go to the Cowboys game. And I'm like, there's no way that they're going to go to that Cowboys game. They're not leaving church early to go watch the Cowboys, go through that traffic, park, the whole nine. But he went in there and found a way to persuade my dad and my mother to go to the Cowboys game. And they went to the Cowboys game. He got them sweet tockets and took care of them, took care of parking. That's just something that, you hear all the great things that come around when people talk about Larry, but I just think his ability to be able to relate to people is such a superpower. Honestly, it's a superpower, and it's a superpower in business. It's a superpower in life. It's a superpower in how he treats the most important people around him. But I would say, man, his ability to just be able to interact with people is so impactful. And like I said, I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, that's one of the unique traits I think what you're talking about in terms of superpower is he has the ability to make anybody feel like the most important person in that moment at that time, right? That's a unique trait. Not everybody can do that, and that's the fascinating part about Fitz.
Yeah, without question. And he does it with ease. He doesn't have to work at it too much.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to ask you about Mr. Kliff Kingsbury's offense, because coming into the NFL, it was air raid, throwing the ball around. And I think when you guys are playing your best football, it's predominantly run dominant. Mm-hmm. You re-sign James Conner. He gets a 2-year deal. How big of a focal point is he? How big of an emphasis and physicality does he bring to the team? And do you guys, consider yourself a physical offensive line, physical unit?
I would say that we're a very efficient unit. The thing is in the National Football League, you don't have offensive linemen, nor do you have systems, nor is the NFL structured this way where you can just lean on people for the entire duration of the season. Like, you have to find a way to be efficient. Even Tennessee, as good as they were and have been over the last 2 to 3 years, you would think that those teams would be Super Bowl winning teams. They ran the football well. They had a defense that did what they needed to do. But it's about being efficient. And I look at our offense and our offensive line, and what Kliff has done as a play caller is he's evolved to make sure that at the most critical points in the game, we're in the best position and have the best plays to be the best. And I think when you think about adding James Conner into that fold, I've seen guys tap out during the game of not wanting to tackle him. He seeks contact. And as a running back, you got running backs that want to run out of bounds, want to, sidestep people. James will run you smack over if he happens to see you. And I've seen people try to tackle him and they come up hurt.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that having that mentality from a running back standpoint, having the ability to be efficient as an offensive line, and having a coach who realizes how important it is to have that run game, it helps Kyler do what he needs to do. Because when we have play actions and we want to throw the ball over people's heads, you got the safeties who are, eyes in the backfield and they picked up just enough. You can go over the top of their head. And I think that's what's great about this offense is we can be nimble, we can be flexible, we can adjust. And I think we've done a phenomenal job, I would say, over the past 2 years of adjusting to our personnel and adjusting to what we need to do to put ourselves in the best position and also put Kyler in the best position to be successful. It's the offensive line worst nightmare to throw the ball 50, 55 times a game. If you can run the ball, 20 to 30 times a game and throw the ball 20 to 30 times a game, I think you have a balanced attack, which keeps a defense on their toes. And when we played our best ball, we kept defenses on their toes. And you add the element of, the quick play calls and getting back to the line of scrimmage and running another play, that'll wear defense out. And I've, in this offense have seen defenses literally tap out due to the tempo in which we play with and the efficiency that we play with. It's just being able to do that week in and week out.
Yeah.
And again, as you get into the later part of the season, being able to do that in the most critical moments of the game and winning situational football.
What was your favorite part about this season?
I would say the adversity that we faced. You lose K1, you lose Hop. In the middle of the season, you have Coke come in and we play in San Fran. We come back home and get smacked by Carolina, and then we go to Seattle, I think.
Yeah.
And find a way to squeeze out a win. I think that really showed a lot about our team. And for me, it's about the team versus individual people. And I think being able to see how we thrived as a team was super important. Losing Kliff early on in the year when we had to go to Cleveland on the road in a very, very hostile environment versus a very good defense and a team that was supposed to be, a playoff caliber team, to go into Cleveland without your head coach, without your play caller, and find a way to get out with a win. Those things were some of the most gratifying things as a player that I've had in my career of having that type of adversity, at the earliest point in the season. And then, kind of there in the middle of the season where, you lose two of your, best players on offense and still find a way to get wins.
Kelvin, you're doing so many great things on the field. I want to talk about, your priorities off the field. Talk to us a little bit about what you got going on with World Vision.
Yeah, so today is World Water Day, World Water Day, where we're bringing awareness to, the water crisis that impacts so many people across the globe. Being able to provide access to clean water is something that I've been doing over the past couple of years. Realized here in America, we have issues with hunger, making sure that people and young people have access to food. But if you can't go over to the global, some of the global issues that we have and not be able and talk about food if you haven't been able to talk about water, because that's a basic human need that so many people around the country, well, around the globe don't have, especially young infants and children. So to be able to talk about access to water, and not only having access to water, how do you use it? How do you have great sanitation? How do you have great hygiene? How do you then take that water that you never had and be able to build crops and build an ecosystem around it? Those are the things that World Vision has done. I've actually been able to go and see it. Got to see it in Honduras a couple of years ago. Was supposed to go back during the pandemic in 2020, but things got put on hold due to the pandemic. And excited to actually get back over into the field and be able to go in and serve at that particular capacity. So excited to just bring awareness to World Water Day through World Vision, a partner that has been so gracious to me over the years, and excited to continue serving in that regard.
How can people, help this cause or get involved with the charity that you're involved with and contribute and help in any way?
Worldvision.org. They do things both here domestically and abroad. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to be a pro athlete to get involved and to be able to serve. It's being able to find what speaks to you. How do you want to serve, and how do you want to leave a legacy, not only for your kids, but your kids, and just show the element of humanity in which we all have. And I think that's something that I find is so important, is just being able to bring the humanity out in people, and the way in which you're able to show that humanity is being able to serve some of those who just don't have.
Well, Kelvin, before we let you go, because I know Johnny was about to let you go, you gotta give me a fun fact about Mejia, Texas, man. What's there to do in Mejia?
Nothing, but eat. Barbecue, fried chicken. But Anna Nicole Smith is from Mejia. That's a fun fact.
Oh, okay.
Didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, but I live in Maricopa, and
which is basically the Mejia, Texas of Arizona. Yes.
Not by choice, and only by choice.
I've been through Maricopa. All you do is take a right once you get in, and it take you to
San Diego.
Stop off,
San Diego.
Say hello.
San Diego.
Yeah. Stop off. Say hello next time. We do have a Denny's, and we're getting a Chili's, which I'm excited about. But yeah, it is what it is. Small town living. We got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Got to support
this guy comes from Chicago talking about small town living.
In all seriousness, Kelvin, it's been an absolute honor and a privilege. Quality offensive line play is something that this franchise is not known for. And to have you in-house playing at such a high level, we appreciate it. We appreciate you joining us. Continued success. Keep kicking ass. We can't wait to see what you guys do next year. The offensive line is one of the few question marks that we don't talk about because the offensive line play has been so good and the versatility that you guys bring to the table. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, fellas. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Good stuff. You know,
Dude, that was
small town
awesome.
Guys like Kelvin and I need to stick together. You're big city, you're big time, and everybody. You're heading to San Antonio, and you're in San Diego, and the rest of us are just trying to grind in the small town America.
You and I just came back from Indy, you baby.
Now,
what are you talking about?
That's Midwest roots. That's working class people like me and Kelvin.
Oh, well, you didn't come with us to New Orleans and Mobile either. That was by choice.
I was holding this show down. I was holding
We're
bets down.
worldwide, baby. Let's go.
We are. We're also excited to talk about the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Right now, college basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. If they win, you win. I think U of A wins big this weekend, not just because Mr. Bookman will be in the house. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on college hoops, same game parlays, combine multiple bets from the same game for an even bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever you want. It's call to action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX, bet $5 on any college hoops team to win. Get $200 in free bets. 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customer only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. How about that Fitzgerald story?
Fantastic. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No,
I mean, that's who Larry Fitzgerald is, right? Listen, man, Kelvin Beachum was impressive. I've never had an opportunity to talk to him or really listen to him speak, but he's very well thought out. He's makes some great points. You could tell, he was the Cardinals representative for Man of the Year and Walter Payton Man of the Year this year, and just a very impressive individual. I'm so happy that Johnny, you were able to make that happen. So
he's somebody. I mean, that's the kind of player. And Jordan Hicks, I know they just released him. Those are the kind of guys that is free agency is all about, trying to find those guys, right? Because so often you add guys, I've dogged on Jordan Phillips, and I don't know how he is as a person, but like you hit the jackpot when somebody's an ace on and off the field, and that's what Kelvin Beachum is, and that's what Jordan Hicks is. So, the Cardinals want to be particular. That's fine. But Mr. Bookman, we did have a signing this morning. I think we should talk about it. The Cardinals agreed to a contract with Nick Vigil. If you don't know who Nick is, he plays inside linebacker. Cardinals already have a couple of those. But from the Minnesota Vikings, spent some time with the Chargers, spent some time with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think we have footage of him here. He actually, his first career pick six was against Kyler Murray against the Arizona Cardinals last year. Do I have the video? I think I do.
Sean?
Maybe? Sean, do we got that video?
Sean's here. Yeah, he's a little asleep at the wheel right here.
I got it.
There we go. We got it. There it is right here.
I'm a self-producer. Kyler Murray back to pass, picked off by the newest Cardinal, Nick Vigil.
That's a good tackling effort there, Rondale Moore.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's see that one more time. All right. So here's what we got. Plus linebacker with some hands, maybe. This is
a little speed, burn.
Six. That's right.
Rondale, all right. What the hell is that?
So a lot of people are don't know how to feel about it. So here, I'm going to tell you exactly how you should feel. Don't come up with your own analogy. Just take mine, because I'm going to tell you what's right and what's not right. This is a player that started games in the NFL, 12 to be precise, last year for the Minnesota Vikings. 28 years old, been around the block. He's smart. Who does it sound like? He's not of the caliber athletically as Jordan Hicks. This is Vance Joseph's new crutch. This is his crutch over Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons. This is somebody that I think, for better or worse, is going to play a lot. And I think that, and John Gambonaro tweeted this out this morning, so I'll give him credit. The plan is tentatively to use Nick Vigil at weak side linebacker, use Zaven at Mike, and then Isaiah Simmons at Sam and or nickel, that's fine. That's all well and good. Number one, Cardinals don't run a 4-3. If they run a 3-4, who is starting in your base defensive package? I'm going to tell you right now, I know he's coming in, 1-year contract. I bet it's close to the vet minimum. He made just over $2 million last year. He's going to start over one of the two guys. I guarantee you right now, because Vance Joseph can't help himself. He just can't.
Yeah. You know what? Have you been watching Showtime on HBO Max?
I don't have premium channels. No.
Oh, well, anyway.
No. What's the show?
Yeah, listen. Well, Jerry West quits coaching the Lakers because basically Dr. Buss gives him he says, whatever you want, you can have to make this team a championship level. And he quits. And there's a part of me that's starting to feel like maybe Vance Joseph would rather play these second-tier players.
Yeah. Because
it's going to make him look good if they play above their level, as opposed to Zaven Collins, who's a first-round pick. The ceiling is supposed to be very high, and if he falls short, then it's Vance Joseph's fault. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a little scenario there where it should be. Listen, you got to play Zaven Collins, man. You just got to. But again, we saw it last year with Joe Walker. It just, I don't get it, man.
I'm ignorant, and I feel like they would have to go into the season with only Isaiah and Zaven as your inside linebackers for Vance Joseph to play them. This guy wasn't good last year. 47 PFF grade. PFF's not the end all be all. He is your stereotypical depth guy. He will make a lot of tackles on a box score, but he will not make a lot of plays outside of the pick six that was basically right to him. He made a nice play after the fact, but this is not an enthusiastic addition. If you were to tell Cardinal fans, and again, it's early, a lot of people think more moves are coming. I'm not one of them. I think
we just signed 2 former Vikings. What do you want? That's all you can ask for, right?
I want Mike Zimmer as my new defensive coordinator. I told you that I wanted already, and I want to trade for Daniel Hunter, and then just bring everybody from Minnesota here, but don't make Mike Zimmer your head coach. That's
Zadarius Smith is off the table now, just for those people.
Yeah, to the Vikings.
Yeah, that was a good swap.
Well, they kept Daniel Hunter though. So the Cardinals have signed an inside linebacker. They didn't necessarily need one. A lot of people are saying, well, this is a quality depth move. Again, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Devondre Campbell was supposed to be a depth move, and he played over Isaiah Simmons his entire rookie year. Last year, Jordan
Devondre Campbell has been very, very good in Green Bay.
He has.
So I can live with that one.
Okay.
I can't live with somebody who might not even make another NFL roster.
Again,
playing more than your star linebacker.
I don't want to dog on this dude because listen, he's a former 3rd-round pick. He's not a scrub by any means. He's a depth guy. But you just fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me.
Can't get fooled again.
We all know how this plays out. I put it on Twitter. I said, on the surface, if you don't follow the Cardinals, you might think to yourself, oh, they got Nick Vigil for pennies on the dollar. That's a nice depth move for the Cardinals. Sit behind their 2 first-round inside linebackers. For those of us who watch and live and die with this team and have seen it time and time again, put the LA playoff game on. When the chips are down, who did Vance Joseph go with to start that game? Tanner Vallejo and Jordan Hicks. Who was on the sideline? Isaiah Simmons and Xavier Collins. They ship Jordan Hicks out. I was surprised by that. They cut him, right? Save a little money. Everybody's announcing, national media, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter had it in his tweet. They're playing the 2 young guys. Awesome. We're still in the first wave of free agency. They signed an inside linebacker. Yeah, I mean, I don't think enough players have been signed yet. I think there's too much depth out there. Maybe the start of the second wave. They sign this guy probably had options. He's under 30 years old. What do you think that negotiation looked like with Nick? Hey, Nick, come here and be a backup to these 2 guys? Or, hey, Nick, you're going to come here and play. You had 82 tackles last year. I bet you it was the latter, Saul. I bet they told him you're going to have an opportunity to play, which if I'm a Cardinal fan, that is sickening to me.
No.
Yes,
of course they said that to him. The reason why they say that to him is because that's a good thing to say to people if you want them to join your organization. You would never just come up like, listen, you're going to be a backup. We need you to back up. You're barely ever going to play because we want our star linebacker to play. We're hoping that he plays better than he did last year. So that's kind of the scenario. And should that not happen, you might play a little bit more. No, that's not the pitch, Johnny. Of course it isn't.
I want to see I haven't seen one comment from anybody in the chat or comments on it. I want to talk to people about how they feel about this move and if they're buying into the conspiracy theory. I wish we had the X-Files music because the
comments are a little deactivated right now. Here they come.
Oh, here they come.
We can pull them up you can pull them up on your phone. There's some people here. People are ragging on Rondale for the tackle. That's cool. You think Vance is trying to get himself fired? Question mark? Yeah, maybe.
I think if they were he didn't get an extension though. I do have that source. Kliff got extended.
And here's another one, and I think we need to talk about this a little bit more too.
Okay.
Plenty of blame on VJ, but what about Bill Davis as the linebackers coach? He can't get them ready.
Oh, I think he should have been fired. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've not been impressed with him. Think about the talent that Bill Davis has gotten to work with. Back-to-back first-round picks. You just mentioned Devondre Campbell, who was on the All-Pro team, just got $50 million from the Packers. Jordan Hicks, who's been, a stalwart for this team. Now they signed somebody else. Like, Bill Davis is not Sean Kugler. He is not that well respected. He used to be the Cardinals, for those of you who don't know, defensive coordinator with Ken Wisenhunt, and he got his ass fired. So he's still hanging around as linebacker coach. What makes me sad, Saul, is go ahead.
The Devondre Campbell is the one that. How do you miss on that so egregiously? That's my thing.
This is what I'm saying. Steve Keim, he's shrewd in March, and then for whatever reason, like they probably would have just been fine. And I'm going to get shit for this, and that's fine. Keeping Jordan Hicks, signing Devondre Campbell, and not taking Isaiah Simmons and Xavier Collins. Think about the dynamic of this team right now. If you just take Jordan Hicks and you get a year like you got from Jordan Hicks last year, who, by the way, they've swapped him out with Vigil in Minnesota. Jordan Hicks is now the starting inside linebacker there. Devondre Campbell, who's a plus player. And then instead of Isaiah Simmons, you take CeeDee Lamb. And then last year, instead of Xavier Collins, maybe you trade down and you add a couple other pieces that can help you, maybe in the passing game. I'm just saying, hey, I can retire this, though. I can retire this video. We got a couple signings.
Finally got some outside additions, Johnny, just for you. We looked at what the Vikings did to us in what was it, week 2, week 3, and we were like, you know what? I think we want to miss the playoffs by a game and also miss a field goal that would have won the game. And let's get some of their players over here. Let's do that.
We want some of that defense that couldn't stop anybody.
And we want to give you one of our guys too. So there you go, Jordan Hicks.
All right. I want to remind everybody, children 5 or older are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is the best tool we have to reduce the chances of getting sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine can reduce the risk of being hospitalized or even dying from the disease. It's safe, free, and highly effective, and COVID-19 vaccines are available throughout Arizona. Visit azhealth.gov/findvaccine for a location nearest to you. Mr. Bookman's got a PHNX shirt on right now on gophnx.com, the PHNX merchandise locker. Other side, my man. You can get Coyotes t-shirts. Buy one, get one half off. Hey. You can also get this sweet Bird Gang tee right here at the PHNX merchandise locker. I'm going to tell you what I did in this shirt today, Mr. Bookman. I worked out in it. I smell, but you can't smell me. I'm going to hang out with my wife and kids tonight. It is so GD comfortable. I love it so much. And it's the high quality.
Probably take a shower after the show's over before you hang out with your kids and wife.
I'm not into that. Here in the Maricopa heat. But I live and die in these shirts because they're so comfortable. Forget that 100% cotton stuff that falls apart. I wear this night and day, and you can looks like it's just brand new. Just came from our merchandise locker. Check out all that and more at gophnx.com. What else you want to talk about?
Johnny, let's talk about something silly and kind of a little stupid here.
Okay.
The guys over there, or the peeps over there on the Sun Show, they're doing these brackets, and they're trying to rack and stack and say who's the greatest, what's the greatest cereal of all time, and what's the greatest franchise of all time, and blah blah blah, right? I want to know from you, what is the greatest football movie of all time?
Well, we have a super chat real quick from Sean Marks that I can't see, that producer Jacob, $1.99, said he's indifferent. Thank you for that, Sean Marks. We're having a little bit of issue with our comments here. Greatest football movie of all time. I'll work my way down from 3 to 1.
Okay.
I think number 3 is Rudy. Rudy is one of my staples in my household, with my father getting emotional every time we watch that. It's a phenomenal film. John Favreau's in that movie. It's fantastic. Vince Vaughn is the over zealous snob running back. Rudy's fantastic. That's number 3. Number 2, I would probably go with, I like it's that one with Mark Wahlberg where he plays
Invincible.
Invincible's good stuff. I like Invincible a lot. I like the music. I love 70s football. I don't like the Eagles per se.
No.
Maybe tied for second is Jerry Maguire, just because of the correlation with the Cardinals. Number 1's Remember the Titans, so easily. High school football, you can't beat it. Denzel.
Interesting. Okay. Well, if I had a top 3, I do like Remember the Titans, but I actually, number 3, I would say The Replacements. I do like The Replacements. Oh yeah, love me some Replacements. I knew you were gonna say Rudy for some curious thing. I actually like if you it's such a goofy old 80s movie. It's so stupid. I don't know why I like this so much. Have you ever seen Wildcats?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, Wildcats. It is so over the top, obnoxious. Some random suburbs white lady goes to the hood and coaches this team to a championship. It just was like, okay, all right. And then number 1 for me is Any Given Sunday. I love me some Any Given Sunday. Willie Beeman, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I forgot? Wait, with that, first of all, yes, Any Given Sunday is fantastic. It would probably be in my top 5. Greatest, I think the greatest like comedy correlated football movie is Varsity Blues. Is fantastic.
Varsity Blues is very good. Also, The Program, not too bad. The Program's not too bad either.
We used to watch that on our bus trips to when we were in the playoffs my senior year of high school. My dad was my coach, and we used to travel out of town in our playoff.
Did you ever spit in anybody else's mouth and then have them regurgitate it and spit right back into yours?
I did not. No.
Okay,
no,
that's in the movie. That's a scene in the movie. So
yes, I remember The Program where the dude with the face paint that was on the steroids, and the quarterback that had substance issues. Yeah, it's a great one.
So in the chat right now, Any Given Sunday is The Longest Yard. Actually, The Longest Yard's pretty good too.
The remake.
Can't forget about especially Terry Crews as one of those main characters. Oh my gosh,
with the McDonald's,
being cheesy.
When they have to recruit the skill players, they just think.
Ryan in the chat says number 3, The Replacements. Number 2, Remember the Titans. Number 1, We Are Marshall.
Ooh,
that's also another one.
What about I'm trying to think, what's it called?
The Giants?
Yes, Little Giants with Rick Moranis. That's fine. I'll show that to my kids. You know what I didn't? I'm going to tell you right now, one I did not love. I don't think it's aged very well. Is The Blind Side. I think it's with Sandra Bullock. I don't buy it at all. It's
the only thing that saves it is that it was based on a true story.
Yeah,
that's the thing that saves it, right? Like that's cool. There was another one that was right there on the tip of my tongue that I was like, the one that just came out with Kurt Warner.
I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
Oh, it is not good.
Everybody says it's good. Is it not good?
Yeah. Everybody is wrong.
You know who wrote that screenplay was your boy Mike Silver from the NFL Combine.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, props to them for getting a movie done. It was good effort, good execution. It just
American underdog.
There are some serious flaws to the timing of that entire thing. Like, well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but there's a sequence of events that happen in the middle of the movie that you're like, wait a minute. What? How? Who?
Do they highlight any of his time with the Cardinals? Do they talk about that at all?
No, of course they don't.
No.
They only
We have
talk about the
Jeremy.
Rams.
We have Jeremy. That's fine. Another one that is Draft Day a guilty pleasure for anybody? Because I legitimately think that that's one of the worst sports movies of all time. Number one, I'm not a Kevin Costner fan at all. The only thing that redeems it is the late Chadwick Boseman as the running back, but everything else in that movie is awful. It's one of the worst movies of all time.
Gridiron Gang gets a shout out. Gridiron Gang was kind of trash too, though.
I like when The Rock put on pads, though.
Oh,
like,
The Rock was terrible in that movie.
He was real bad. He was real
like
bad.
A lot of Rock movies. Like the only time Rock is good in a movie is when he plays like a badass, like in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Right.
I totally believe that. I believe he was like, yeah, you better have your underwear on or some shit like that. Like that sounds like something he would say. Like if he can mimic what he was like in the WWE in a movie, like yes, I'm 1,000% for it. There was also that other movie where he starts off and he has to go get money from these football players to start the movie. I can't remember what it is, and he literally like just busts up all the football players who think they can beat him up. But when he has to play like Jungle Cruise, cancel it.
I think I love The Rock, but the hype around some of his films, like I probably only have seen like a handful of them. Silver Linings Playbook is another good one. It's not just cut and dry about football, but Robert De Niro, Bradley Cooper. What are you laughing at?
Bobby in the chest is not another teen movie. I love that movie.
There's a couple good scenes with that.
Oh my gosh, the scenes there's like 5 iconic scenes in that movie that if you've never seen them, like they can be
Captain America with the whipped cream. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else?
That part really?
No, I'm just.
What's wrong with you, Johnny?
I do love Chris Evans. Brian's Song. I've never seen that.
The Water Boy.
Great. I saw that in the movie theater with my dad. Yeah, that movie was definitely ahead of its time.
Anyway, I just wanted to put it out there just to see what you thought and see what the chat thought. So there you go.
We'll revisit that on the day our chat's working. But right now, I want to remind everybody, go over to PHNX.com, become a member, 99 cents for the first month, $8.99 for the subsequent months, or you can become a member for the entire year and pay half price, just under $60. We've got an announcement we're going to be making on Friday's show, 2 announcements actually, that are going to reshape this podcast into the future and beyond. If you think that today was fun, which it was, this is only the tip of the iceberg, the beginning, because we don't need these Arizona Cardinals to make marquee moves because we're making our own moves, Mr. Bookman.
That's right. Hey, it never stops. It never stops here at PHNX. We're always constantly looking for ways to evolve and get better. And this is certainly going to go down that path. So
we're here to win. We're here to have fun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. I'm Johnny Venerable. Bon voyage, Mr. Bookman, as you set sail for the great state of Texas to watch your Arizona Wildcats, I think, advance to the Final Four. I think they're going to win, which probably is not good news for you.
I certainly hope so, and I hope you didn't just jinx us, because the other day, I will say this, one Michaela Perkins, I told her, hey, if we make it to San Antonio, then you're going to have to go and play some Mike Luke because Mike Luke has to take care of his dog. And she said, cool. And then when the Wildcats were up by 9, guess who texted me saying, packing my bags right now with like 5 minutes left to go in the game, and who proceeded to blow the lead. I was so mad. I was like, oh my God. She quickly texted me back, I'm sorry. I'm unpacking. Hope that doesn't happen again. So hopefully U of A makes it to the Final Four. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. We have fun here at PHNX Cardinals. We will see you tomorrow. At least I will. 4 p.m. We keep this train moving. Emergency pod. It's going to happen one of these days. Maybe the Cardinals sign Odell Beckham. I don't know. Don't ask me that.
Ooh.
For Mr. Bookman, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you tomorrow.